Man, let's just jump right into it. Let's talk about the ring. Wedding rings don't mean shit nowadays. Follow me on this, all right? I have had some funny ass conversations with women who have approached me to try to get to know me. And um I always tell you guys that I'm not perfect. I haven't lived a perfect life. I've made my mistakes. I've made some bad decisions. We all have. We're all human, right? Um, but I'm gonna keep it a buck with you, man, and I'm gonna share something with you that was messaged to me earlier today. This literally happened today, and this is from two different women, all right, that are, that contacted me, uh, and wanted to get to know who I was, who I am, and obviously it's a dating app, and literally say, you know, asking me questions and, you know, trying to get to know me. And I'm going through their photos before I'm like even talking to them and I'm noticing, okay? So I noticed the first one. I'm starting to look at all her photos and I see a big old diamond ring on her ring finger. You know what ring finger I'm talking about. So I'm just noticing that, she's at the let's see. Let me show she's at the beach. Let's see. She's at a waterfall. And then she's on a cliff, like just hanging out. These look like little outings and whatnot. All right. Now this is a woman who is 54 years old. All right. 54 years old. I'm not gonna put names, because who knows? This person might be listening to my podcast. And honestly, I hope you are listening. Um, because this is some bullshit. I you know, I say good morning, and then I casually say, I just realized you had a wedding ring on. And she tells me, I can tell you pay attention to details. I love that with the exclamation point. And I'm thinking, okay, here comes the BS. Because listen, I get it. Um, when I was younger, I was a complete dog. All right. Maybe that's, to some people who grew up with me and knew me from back in the day when I was young. Maybe some people say, well, that's why your marriage didn't work out, or what that's why you're still single because you were such a dog when you were in high school, you were such a dog when you were in your 20s and whatever, right? And that's fine. I'm okay with that. I've accepted, who I was back in the day and whatnot. I'm totally fine with that. But I know that most women on these apps, they probably, guys for the most part don't give a shit. Whatever. I replied to her and I said, I do pay attention to details. I said, what does that mean? I said, so what does it mean? Are you a widow? Are you in an open relationship? Or are you on the down low? What are you doing? Now listen to this response. This lady tells me I work in retail. I use rings as marketing. By the way, I'm divorced. You hear what I just said? I'm in retail and I use rings as marketing. She ain't posing in a store. She's on outings, like outings that I've taken my kids on, where we go hiking, and we take photos together. We go to the beach and we take photos. These are not marketing photos. These are like photos you take when you're out with friends and family, just doing little outings. These aren't marketing photos. All right. So I literally replied and I said, I'm not sure what you'd be marketing in any of them photos on your profile. You're literally out on personal trips. And no response after that. Listen, man. I think I've hit a point in my life where, yeah, I accept my downfalls. I know I've fucked up quite a few relationships in my life. All right. I know. I accept that. I haven't been a saint. Okay. Um, but I have also changed a lot. All right. And that's taken me some time. It's taken a lot of work. Uh, it's taken a lot of asking God to forgive me for who I was and what I was doing with my life. And anybody who had experiences with me, they know if they're listening and I've ran into them over the last few years, I've always asked them if I ever hurt them or if I was ever an asshole to them when I was younger, I wanted to apologize. And some people have told me, in certain situations, but most people were like, no, you were just young, dude. We were all young. You don't owe me an apology, you know? But I still apologize anyway because that's just who I am now. All right. But that lady was 54 years old. Okay. I'm not dating a 54-year-old, by the way. It's not happening. I know I'm pushing 50, but let me read you the next one. So this woman is 45. All right. So this time I get a message and we're chit chatting, and she had one photo up. Now, I'm not somebody who's trying to do some freak nasty stuff online, right? I literally ask people to put up more photos to first see if their accounts are real. And I don't I don't like people who hide who they or what they actually look like, because if you're not putting photos up, then you got something to hide. And I'm not with all that. I'm not gonna waste my time with that. Um, I don't go out on a lot of dates as it is. I'm definitely not going to entertain conversations with somebody that has one photo up. So I asked this lady, can you put more photos up? She does. And voila, wouldn't you know? She puts up 4 or 5 photos, and I'm noticing in one, two, three, four, in 4 of them, she has a big fat diamond on her wedding finger. So again, now mind you, this all happened today, all right, in the middle of my workday. And I said, it looks like you have a wedding ring on as well. And she says, oh, that ring is a commitment to myself that I'm not going to let anyone hurt me anymore. Excuse me? It's a ring that is a commitment to myself that I'm not going to let anyone hurt me anymore. And I said, my reply was simple. It was just interesting. She said, yeah, nothing physical, but emotional. And that's what hurts the most. Listen, man, we ain't shit. We ain't shit, man. I used to say that this new generation don't respect marriage, don't respect um wedding rings, don't respect anything. And like I said, I'm not perfect. Um, but what I'm saying is this. I used to think it was the new generation that didn't respect marriage and the idea of marriage and everything that came with it. But man, we as a people now, we ain't shit. I just gave you an example from a 45-year-old woman and a 54-year-old woman, damn near 10 years apart. And it's the same BS bullshit. One says she wears it because she's marketing, she's in retail, and the other one says it's a promise to her that she'll never let anyone hurt her anymore. A wedding band? Listen, man, my wedding band was a big deal to me. And if any of you have been around for 7 or 8 years, I think you remember the day that I announced I was getting divorced. I put a photo of my ring on my Instagram, and I said, "Sometimes life throws you the curveball that you just can't hit." And everybody knew exactly what I was talking about. Now, that was a long time ago. Me and my ex-wife, we are good now. Okay, we're in a much better place. But my ring meant something to me. In fact, it meant something to me so much that when I was angry at my ex-wife, I gave it to her and I said, "This doesn't even mean nothing to you." And I gave it back to her. And then I believe like a week later, after praying and praying and praying to God to give me an answer, should I fight or should I just let it go, or is my marriage worth fighting for? I went back to her and I said, "I want my wedding ring back. Give it back to me." And she says, "Okay." And she went and got it and gave it back to me. Now I got it back because I wanted to fight for my marriage. I still wanted to fight. And I did. And obviously it didn't work out because here I am divorced. But everything, happens for a reason. I believe that. And like I said, me and my ex-wife are really good now. We get along, we joke, we laugh, we travel with the kids together. We're able to be in the same room together. We're in a good place. Couldn't be any better. All right. She's dating. I'm, or not dating. She's in a pretty serious relationship. I'm, you know, dating when I have time, not as much. I think everybody thinks when I'm not around my kids, I'm just going out on all these dates. I'm not. I'm literally just working. Um, I don't have the patience for it. I try. I don't think I'm very good at dating, but I give it a shot, because you gotta throw yourself out there. But these messages today from these two women just, I don't know, man. They pissed me off because we just ain't shit, man. We ain't shit. Somewhere there's a guy who's linked to both of these women, and he's sitting there thinking he's got himself a great woman, and he doesn't. He's got a piece of shit. He's got a piece of shit that is in my inbox right now telling me a bunch of bullshit. Probably doesn't even know they have a profile set up. It makes me really look at my life and revisit the idea of I don't ever want to be married again, because this makes me feel like you can't trust anybody. And I know not every woman does that. I get it. I'm not putting all women in the same bucket. I'm not. But I honestly thought it was the younger generation, and it's not. It's everybody. It's people my age and older that are doing the same bullshit. Guys, my ring meant so much to me. I hated when I would forget about it if I took a shower and I left it. And I didn't leave it almost ever. But when I did, the few times, I probably took my ring off and left it at home, maybe a handful of times. And I was married almost 9 years. But my ring meant everything, and trust me, I did notice when my ex-wife wasn't wearing our wedding ring, especially at the end. And I know she didn't have the heart to tell me, but she had already checked out. And I knew when I saw that ring not on her finger, it wasn't just I forgot to put it on. I was putting lotion on my hands or whatever. It wasn't there. I wanted to be a father as far back as I can remember, but I also wanted to be married to the woman that I had kids with. It was important to me. And I know to a lot of men, you know, that probably isn't that important, but for me, it was. It was important that I had babies with the woman I was married to. And I did that. And I tried to make my marriage work. I think I was good at some things and I was bad at some other things, and it just didn't work out. And I wished I could have saved it, but I couldn't. But when I get messages like this, I don't care. I could read you everything they're telling me. You have an amazing smile. I love your beard. I love that you work out. You're such a handsome man for almost being 50. Da 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 da. Blah blah blah. Blah. Just butter me up, butter me up. Fuck you. I don't give a shit about compliments, especially when they come from women like that. I don't care how pretty you are. I don't care how stacked you are. I don't care about your career. I don't care about none of that. You ain't shit. And if either one of you are listening to my podcast, because I do have it listed on my profile, you guys ain't shit. You make guys like me lose hope. This is why I can't stand dating. This is why I don't like throwing myself out there more. Because y'all ain't shit. And I wish I knew who the man was that put that ring on your finger. Because I know if you're doing that with me, I'm not the first one. And I ain't talking from some pedestal, guys, because I'm not perfect. All right. Like I told you, there was a time in my life where I was a piece of shit. But I don't want no part of this shit. I don't want no part of this at my age. I don't want no part of none of it. And when I get messages like this, it just makes me want to be single for the rest of my life, or at least until my kids are grown and in college and doing their own thing. My sister-in-law always jokes with me about, when I'm over visiting the kids or having something to eat. Oh, you going on a date? Or who's the? I think they think that I'm hiding that I'm dating somebody. I'm not. I always tell her, I'm not dating anybody. I'm not serious with anybody. There is no prospect. There is nobody who, when I'm not here, I'm with them. It's just not. There's nobody I'm with. I would not be on my podcast saying that if there was, because that's super disrespectful. And I'm getting back to the point where I just, as crazy as it sounds, is I'm starting to feel like I want to be alone again. Like I want to be left the fuck alone. I'm starting to feel like I might want to go back to doing what I did. I told you a while back. I went 13 months celibate. I'm starting to feel like that again. There was a time when I remember you would ask women about their ring and they would say, "No, I get hit on all the time." Men just look at that ring as a challenge. It ain't one-sided anymore. Women look at that ring and they think the same thing nowadays. It's a challenge. I can tell you one thing for sure. If I ever put another ring on my finger and you ever disrespect me and think you have a shot in hell, I will put you in your fucking place. I mean, every bit of that. If I ever put a ring on my finger again and any woman comes up to me and thinks I'm a challenge and tries to test me, I will embarrass them and put them in their fucking place. That's where I'm at right now. That's all I got. I hope you guys have a good night. Take care of yourselves. Like I always say, my life isn't perfect. Oftentimes it is a mess, but for me, it is the perfect mess. Peace.